Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry I'm a minute or two late. My eldest came for a visit. Hello from disassociation land? Okay. Talk about the likelihood that the Elder Scrolls ever exists? No, I think... Talk about the Elder Scrolls 6 most likely being a DI poorly made nightmare. Is that die poorly made nightmare? Still remembering 1 year chasing the echoes. Oh, now some people in the VODs, well, one person in the VODs has suggested that the Twitch alerts are too loud for you guys. Is that true? Because I could turn them down for you guys and still have them loud enough for me to be able to hear.
Welcome, minion.
Okay. Right. Kalos, thank you for the resub, 67 months. Razor Mouse, 53 months. Yes, they're too loud. All right, I'm going to turn them down a little bit more then. I'll turn them down a tiny bit more. It's a political question. Lol. What is? DEI equals diversity, equity, inclusivity. That sounds nice. Thank you, Zervanir. Equals DEI. Oh. You're not sure what that's got to do with Elder Scrolls 6. I've asked the question, what shall we talk about tonight? But I expected, well, it was more of a humorous title, because I'm expecting everyone wants to talk about my Starfield review. And tell me off, rebuke me for, I don't know, actually. Some of the criticisms I got on those videos baffle me, absolutely baffle me. FN Scar, thank you for the resub, 84 months. Is that a little less aggressive than the sound? DEI is the new word they're using for woke. Oh, for God's sake, no politics. That'd be silly, especially about that sort of thing. My God. How can I tell off or rebuke something I mostly agree with? People, no, here's what, I get rebuked for things that just I didn't say. That was the great thing. I completed Chatter Space in 20 seconds. Your review is wrong. Thank you, Anoctium. Well, I got the usual, your page. Can I do a bit of a rant? Can I start this off with a rant? Am I allowed to rant at you guys? I got the whole, you're a shill for Bethesda. This was on a review video where basically the final thing I said was, if you really like Starfield, it's probably worth getting, but, you know, otherwise you might want to save your money and buy something better like Prey. I feel like just grabbing these people and go, seriously? Would you pay somebody to say that about your product? It sounds nice, Gopher, but is an umbrella term used by companies that they want to pander. Yeah, look, I get it now. Now when someone said it was woke, it's basically, I don't even want to go into this conversation. Thanks, Zerv. This conversation just ends up being so ridiculous. So I'm not even going there. I get the feeling the way now that I'm rereading the question, I'm getting the feeling that I don't want to answer it. If the Elder Scrolls 6 sucks, people are going to blame it on whatever it is they hate, right? If it's Bethesda, it'll be Bethesda's fault. If it's, you know, the existence of Sweden, it'll be Sweden's fault. Yeah, that's right. I'm starting Sweden. I'm starting. Yeah. Looking at you over the border. Whereas I am firmly of the belief that if it's a complete failure, it's really down to Bethesda. Although I've also predicted it won't matter what they make, there is going to be drama over it. But yeah, so like I'm a shill for this. I'm a shill for essentially giving it the most meh of scores. I guess if I was the sort of giving a number score kind of reviewer, I would have said 5.5 out of 10 or something. You know, it'd be like, I enjoyed it, I guess. But here's what I will say about Starfield. I did enjoy it, but not as much as I was enjoying Fallout London, not even close. And I was so relieved to finish it so I could get back to Fallout London. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Wandering around post-apocalyptic London was less depressing than walking around that planet. Which is something to do with the blue and red light, actually. I got real fed up. After about 10 hours, I got so fed up of the environment. And I do think that's one of the problems with doing a space game like that. If you're on a planet that's not Terran in nature, there's just something about it that gets tiring after a while. So, I mean, I thought there'd be an F1 rant. I figure you finished the DLC. That's bleak for a DLC. Oh, you finished it? Yeah, and look. I kind of enjoyed it, I guess, but honestly, there was. I've tried to figure out why I'm just so nonplussed about it. Why I'm not like, you know, and I think a lot of people have sort of said this. It's kind of like the Nuka World DLC, only not as cheerful. You kind of play through it and you think, yeah, it was kind of fun, but it didn't draw me in quite the same way. I loved getting all the new lore about House Varun. I did love finding out about that society. It was kind of nice. But that was the thing. I think really when I was playing it, I was much more enjoying the finding out about the backstory type thing of House Varun and seeing the different people and expanding upon it than the actual playing of the game. And I realized I probably could have watched a 5-hour documentary series about House Varun and enjoyed it probably more than playing it, if that makes sense. So I think, I'll be honest, I think I'm done with Starfield. I think that's all it is. And it's not pouring hate on Starfield. I just think I've done it. I've done it, and playing Shattered Space didn't really do anything new for me. Whereas, for example, when I played Dawnguard DLC, I was still playing Skyrim. I was still loving Skyrim. And the fact that Dawnguard actually added a whole new kind of aspect to the game, the whole vampire thing. I think, did I play Vampire on my first playthrough? Wasn't my first Dawnguard playthrough with Steve? And I went vampire. Yeah. So there was just something. It was like new, but I was still into Skyrim. Same when Dragonborn came out. Now that could be because those DLC came out quicker, but yeah. The handmade rifle carried a lot of weight with you with Nuka World. So anyway, that's probably the best way to think of it. Gopher, I still can't play Starfield because of the menu noises, so the fact that you got to play the DLC is already an improvement. There is a mod that actually gets rid of the menu noises. A lot of people didn't like it. Who's that? Magnus Burkow. 200 Norwegian kroner. Hilsen from Nord-Norge. Nord-Norge. Bloody dark there a lot, isn't it? Basically, he's saying he's followed for years and wants to support. Likes that I am pragmatic and realistic about Starfield. And basically, sorry for all the hate I'm getting. Well, like, the thing is it's only from a few people. It is only from a few people. Luckily, I think this time, like, people who are hardcore Starfield fans, they didn't mind the fact that I was a little negative about it, which makes me, which makes me happy, but it also makes me realize that I think even people who love Starfield kind of acknowledge that some of the criticisms that are being leveled against it are valid. Specifically the criticisms that don't involve utter, well, like, the less outrageous ones, which does bring me to the real rant here. I posted, you tried it and you couldn't, tried all the mods I could find, none worked. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I'll have a look and see, Zerv, if I can figure out what I use, because I did for my playthrough. I turned off some of the scanner sounds as well because they were upsetting some people. Some people actually complained, I think like people with tinnitus said the sound just absolutely was painful. 1 year later, everyone was expecting much more. I think that's probably a fair criticism as well, Pedro. I think I was expecting something. It sounded good when they listed it, but I think I was expecting more. And I have to say, I think it was a massive mistake to make House of Arun faction quest line the first DLC, because I'm not sure if that was cut content. But not only did they open themselves up to that criticism, and again, I as I said in my review, I'm not the sort of person who likes that whole "it should have been here from the start" argument, especially on a game like Starfield that actually has more content than most games. It's got it's got massive amounts. Now, critics would say yes, but it's terrible content. But that, people who like the game, we love the fact that it had loads of content. So I don't like that criticism normally, but that kind of content felt like it was the sort of content that should be there in the game from the start. Dragonborn didn't. Dragonborn seemed to add something new to the game, something that I wouldn't have imagined, and it was made in such a way that you could sort of approach it from either side, be pro-vampire, anti-vampire. Dragonborn DLC was, a whole new area, and it felt like a whole new area, and it felt like a classic expansion pack. The Shattered Space DLC did feel like cut content, and a big part of that is because it was one of the houses, one of the three major factions, and it had a main quest that required you to join that faction, which I said in my review, I'm not against the idea that you have to join a faction to do the faction quest line. Seems odd for a DLC. Dawnguard? Yeah, it added a vampire faction. It also added an opposing faction. So you kind of had way more ways into that content. And indeed, different content depending on which path you take to some degree. And it felt like an expansion that was made after the game. Whereas I will admit, I can't escape that feeling that this was content they probably either planned to have from the start or should have. So, yeah. Do you think they lost money on the game overall? No, they probably made a killing. You may be wrong about this, but you may be the one that told me about the tinnitus problem since you have it. Okay, it probably was you then, yeah. Zerv, did you have problems with Cyberpunk? Modders did data mine Dazra and Varun Kai back at launch. Right, yeah. Giving you a heads up, there's a new big Skyrim creation coming up called Truth in Legends. It's very ancient Nordy, so not sure if it might be weird coda for Richard rather than Leonard. The Richard saves probably There's no way I could get Richard back. I may even have the save, but to rebuild I mean, would Truth in Legends even work on Skyrim Aldrim? I'd have to. I'm pretty sure those new mods will not work on old Skyrim. So I'd have to convert Richard to the new game, to special edition, and then I'd need to rebuild the mod list in a way that didn't break the save. I think it would be too hard. Will you be playing any future Starfield DLCs, or are you completely done now? I will probably play all of the Starfield DLCs. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It will probably be because I want to review it and keep my eyes on what is going on and see which direction Bethesda's moving in, etc. I am not particularly excited about Starfield at the moment. It may just be because, I played a full playthrough, and it's a big game, and then I did a bunch of NG Plus playthroughs, and I'm done with it, sort of thing, which is, again, isn't really a criticism of the game, but it is a stark difference from, say, Skyrim. Thank you, Magisterium. $2 Canadian. What do you think about the new Dragon Age Veilguard? Well, it's not Origins, is it? Sorry, I had to do that. I'm one of these Dragon Age Origins fans. I've not really got into Dragon Age since then. At a couple moments, yes, but with a simple EQ edit was enough to fix it, and it was not as bad as the menus in Starfield or the horrible scanner. Really? Okay. So anyway, yeah. So as you can tell, I'm a shill. Never I have sent dono to any creator worth it. Oh, you've never donated to any creator worth it. Thank you very much for the other Canadian $2 super chat. I can't get with my whole currency things. Do you think Bethesda will make Starfield 2 many years from now? Will they keep the IP going? Or will Bethesda drop it when Todd... I don't know. Look, I'm going to be completely honest. I'd be interested to see a Starfield 2. But right about now, I think I'm just ready for some Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And I want a lot more. I really feel like Bethesda cannot have 3 IPs on the go and a 6 and 7 year game turnaround. I can't be doing with 20 years between each IP. I mean, basically, it's like at the moment, I'm looking at Elder Scrolls 6 as being the last Elder Scrolls I will see in my lifetime. And that is sort of it's probably. I'm hoping I'll still be around for Elder Scrolls 7, but it's kind of like that's what we're getting to. Will we see more of Fallout 3 TTW Joshua? Probably. It's definitely. I haven't finished with Joshua. It's Skyrim's next. Magisterium, another $5 Canadian. Dude, I've had this question since I was watching you 14 years ago. You ever going to run some Oblivion? Probably not, but I'm absolutely going to be doing a full playthrough of Skyblivion when it comes out. That is what I'm waiting for. I'm going to play the hell out of that. Here's the thing. If Skyblivion was not coming out, I might have actually started an Oblivion playthrough at some point. I might have. But, Todd Howard said in an interview sometime this year, Fallout 5 may not come from BGS Maryland, hoping to spin up a new tree. This is what I'm hoping. I am really secretly hoping that Bethesda double themselves up, but into 2 separate entities. One dedicated to Fallout, one dedicated to Elder Scrolls. And if they want to do Starfield, I think they should get another Bethesda. They don't even need to call it Bethesda at this point. I feel like, I don't know about you. I could play a new Elder Scrolls every 6 years. I could play a Fallout every 6 years. Yes, I could. Oblivion is the best Elder Scrolls game. Fight me.
Welcome, minion.
Thank you, Satellite999, for that resub. 50 months. They could take some talents from the Fallout TV show to do stuff. I mean, look, here's the thing. Fallout is now completely mainstream. It's beyond mainstream. It's now, insanely, Bethesda's biggest IP. Right? It is hands down the most known IP of Bethesda because it's known by people who don't even know who Bethesda are now. Double 11 is the UK studio is working on Fallout 76 right now. Could be them. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Feels like Skyrim will be the last in my lifetime. Well, look. I don't know how old you are, Captain Zedro. I estimated 2030 for Elder Scrolls 6. I'm hoping that's still accurate. I'm a little worried because of the reaction Starfield got. And I'm torn on whether I would like to see Elder Scrolls 6 delayed. You'd love to see Lenny join the companions as a vegetarian. Yeah, Lenny would never drink the blood of a werewolf. There is a mod that lets you get around that, actually. But I've got a feeling that if there is another Bard's College-sized paid mod coming out, Leonard's probably going to have content to do forever. 2030, ouch. You'll be like 73. Yeah, I mean, that's basically my estimate, sort of like 6 years. I don't know how many of them have moved over to the Elder Scrolls project now. You think Starfield poor reaction brings Elder Scrolls sooner, to be honest? I'm not sure how that would work. Starfield's poor reaction might make them rethink the use of the current engine. It also might make them rethink some of their plans, because I have a feeling they were doing some plans regarding this whole procedural generation. And if that's the case, if anything, it'll delay it. They just have to make a decent game at this point. This is true. A lot of people would argue Starfield is a decent game. I think the problem with Starfield is it just didn't scratch the itch of people who want Elder Scrolls or Fallout. It's not the right type of game for a lot of the BGS fans. This is why you get into these silly arguments. Every time I post a video on this, there's a bunch of people going, nobody likes Starfield. And then there's like 100 people saying they like it. And there are a lot of people who do like Starfield. I enjoyed Starfield. It just didn't hit me the same way Skyrim hit me. But then the same is true of Fallout 4. End of the day, same is true about Fallout 4. You'll notice I've never really returned to Fallout 4. Returned to Skyrim. Yeah, there's a reason for that. So, you want Grandma Shirley to play Elder Scrolls 6? Yes! Yes! For those of you who don't know, she's a Let's Player who I believe is having a character made after her, as it were, based upon her, in the Elder Scrolls 6. Tale of Blood and Snow creation came out recently. It's the same price as the Bard's College. Seems to be a Dawn Guard style quest line. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on it, but I do need to finish the Bard's College first. I'm going to be starting that quite soon, though. Although it's going to be a case of I'm playing it alongside Fallout London, because Fallout London's bloody enormous. You loved Fallout 4. Hey, I mean, lots of people loved it. I liked it. I just didn't love it. Shirley stopped gaming. Oh. She quit due to health issues. Oh, that sucks. She's quitting because Skyrim has become boring for her. Well, I can understand that. She's actually been playing it non-stop since 2011. That may well be Skyrim's most dedicated fan. Feel like my Fallout 4 characters always do the same thing. Yeah, that's pretty much my problem with it. That is very much my problem with it. There's something about Fallout 4 that just... I mean, I could actually imagine playing Starfield and doing completely different things. My problem with Starfield is I just do not want to start a new character, which is completely unusual for a Bethesda Game Studios game. I just don't. I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to be low level again in that game. I find the idea really, really annoying. Not scary, just annoying. Getting all those skills to make the ship combat more bearable. Having to spend 16 levels worth of perks just to be able to take an entire crew. Oh, little things like that were just soul crushing. Riz, thank you for the £20 super chat. Thank for the podcast. With so many reviews being either overly positive or negative, your balanced take is really appreciated. Well, I'm glad you say that. Reminded of the fact that, unfortunately, not everyone sees it that way. Do you know somebody called me a liar? Outright just came out and called me a liar on that 3-minute video I made where I said there's more than 6 hours content in Starfield DLC. And you might be thinking it's someone calling me a liar because they hate Starfield and believe it only has 6 hours. No. They're calling me a liar because they're suggesting nobody has made that claim. They are, and the argument just got silly. This person just has lost their bloody mind. Basically, they were like, no, they said it was 6 hours for the main quest. And I'm like, yeah, so I was right then. That's basically what I was suggesting in my video. Because basically, I got a whole heap of comments from people saying, you say you played this for 25 hours. I'm finding this difficult to believe because loads of reviewers told me it was only 6 hours. Right? And I got loads of comments like that, actually. Loads of people sort of, stroking their chin. 25 hours, you say? All the other reviewers are saying it's only 6 hours. So I made a quick 3-minute video saying, I think those reviews are probably just covering the main quest. And this guy came over and called me a liar because he believes those reviewers were only talking about the main quest. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he won't drop it. He goes, oh, you said you think that that's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know. You are a liar. Nobody called you a liar. Thank you. It's just, honestly, some people just, I look at it and think, what is wrong with these people? In hours of content, in hours per dollar of content, how does Shattered Space stack up against Dragonborn? It's pretty much identical. Basically, it's a very stereotypical Bethesda Game Studios DLC. It's the same as Dragonborn. It's the same as Far Harbor, Dawnguard. It's on par with Nuka World, although technically Nuka World has a longer main quest. But that's just because you spend so much bloody time clearing all the different parks. It's a lot of busy work in the Fallout, in the Nuka World DLC. So yeah. So it's basically about the same. All of Bethesda DLCs, with the exception of Nuka World, probably come around at about 7 or 8 hours, 6, 7, 8 hours for the main quest, and then I don't know, 20 to 25 hours total content when you take into the account side quests. No. Shivering Isles was a longer one as well. I think Shivering Isles was actually almost twice as long main quest, and I don't know how much side content there was as well in Shivering Isle. Shivering Isle was quite a big one. It was about twice as long on the main quest, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. So from a point of view of just hours of content, it's pretty well the same price value, so to speak, as most of their DLC. Once you account for inflation, it pretty much matches. Of course, you know, it's kind of like comparing Nuka World to Far Harbor. On numerically, they're similar value, but most people would agree Far Harbor is like way better than Nuka World. Most people. I know there are exceptions. So Shivering Isle felt like a proper expansion, not just DLC. Well, no, I mean, expansion pack got replaced by DLC because to me, Dragonborn, Far Harbor, these were expansion packs. They were expansion packs. Shivering Isles is around 50 hours for completionist. Yeah, that sounds right. And that is actually longer than current ones. I would say the Oblivion expansion pack is almost certainly their best value for money offering ever. But the rest of them are more or less the same. The Fallout 3, I suppose it's not fair to include Fallout New Vegas. The Fallout 3 DLCs were smaller, but I believe they were cheaper. However, I believe the main quest in all of them was a comparable size to their current ones as well. I just think they had less side content. Any chance of a survival MP game live streams? Maybe, once I've finished everything else, yeah. DLC replaced expansion. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when companies talk about DLCs, very often, if the ones they're talking about are expansion pack size, we don't necessarily call them all expansion packs anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's perfectly reasonable to call Phantom Liberty an expansion pack. Same's true of Far Harbor, though. It's one of those things of like, what is an expansion pack? Everything's DLC. Everything's DLC. The patch that comes out is DLC, technically. So I don't know why we started to call it DLC. I think it was because some DLC wasn't what you would consider expansion pack size. I loved Far Harbor, but I wouldn't compare it with such company. What is Blood and Wine and Throne of Ball? Yeah, but it was an expansion pack. I mean, you can say Blood and Wine was way better than Far Harbor, and I'd probably agree with you. Blood and Wine was just, well, all of the expansion packs for The Witcher 3. I mean, CD Projekt Red know how to do expansion packs. They just do. But then they know how to do games. I mean, you could argue The Witcher 3 was just so much better value than pretty much 99% of the games that have ever been made. So, but Far Harbor is an expansion pack. Skins could be expansion packs. Yeah, I wouldn't say they were expansion packs. I mean, expansion packs are usually, when we saw an expansion pack back in the day, it meant loads more stuff to do. And sometimes it would almost feel like a second game. So, this is why Shivering Isles, when it came out, had enough to do that it almost felt like you were a new game. And you do get that feeling from Far Harbor and from... They're like small expansion packs. So anyway, odd conversation we're into now, isn't it? Have I missed something? There we go. Let me have a look. What's going on? What's gone on? CDPR said they consider expansion packs bigger than DLCs. Well, they are traditionally, because DLCs are pretty much... I mean, DLC literally means downloadable content. It can be anything. It could be a nose pin, right? Or it could be an expansion pack. It's just such a vague term. But when you think about, say, Far Harbor, and then you consider it to something like the, I don't know, what was the Vault-Tec expansion thingy, whatever it was, yeah? Both of them are DLC, but one of them was a whole new land, a serious, like it felt like a bit of a new game going on over in Far Harbor. So, yeah. Your days it was called an add-on. I think add-on came later than expansion pack, actually. We'd need to check up on the terminology, wouldn't we? Expansion packs are so large that you feel like the only similar to the base game is the engine. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like if you... I mean, Dawnguard would be a tough one to call an expansion pack. I normally think with expansion packs, you're looking at either a new land or at least a completely new area. Now, Dawnguard had new places, but they were all integrated into the game. So, was it an expansion pack? It's a difficult one. Again, I can't believe we're having a rambling discussion on at what point something becomes an expansion pack. Anyway, expansion packs should at least contain a new story. Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. Expansion packs sounds amazing, way more enticing than DLC. Well, here's the thing, Sarah Lama. Back when they decided to use the term DLC instead, my guess is everyone thought DLC sounded cooler than expansion pack, because expansion pack was just like such an ordinary term. So it might just be that you find the retro vibe of expansion pack now. The Dawnguard's castle area. Right, but that's, you know what, like when you look at an expansion pack, you normally look at a map. Right? Think Shivering Isles. Think Far Harbor. Think something like that. You normally have a whole new map that contains lots of things. I mean, again, I'm just going off what I remember when I was playing expansion packs. Why was there never a Mass Effect Andromeda playthrough? The game just was never that popular. And honestly, when I played it, it didn't grab me. I played an early build of it, and it seemed okay, but there was something about the facial animations that freaked me out a little bit. And then when it came out, the reviews were so bad, it was just like... I've never even played it, believe it or not. Expansion pack preceded DLC. Well, it did and it didn't. What you remember is downloadable content is an old term. But yes, they used to call the sort of things that you get like Shivering Isles an expansion pack. And at some point they started calling them DLC or major DLC. So yeah, they fixed the facial animations. Okay, that's nice. Baldur's Gate still planned for today. It is. I'm going to wander over there. Once I've got this out of my system. Otherwise, we'll just do it over there and everyone will get annoyed. Blood and Wine seriously expanded the skill system as well as the map. Gave us a great story. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Here's the thing, Kalos. You really can't compare the stuff the CD Projekt Red does to most games. I mean, you mentioned Blood and Wine, but what about Hearts of Stone? That is one of the most incredible expansion packs or DLCs or whatever we're calling it I've ever played. It was phenomenal. It really was. That may be the quest line in the Witcher series that beats the Bloody Barons one, right? I mean, it was awesome. Gauntro Dim. Oh, he was amazing. And then look at Phantom Liberty. Look at Phantom Liberty. What an incredible experience. Yeah, no. Oh, here's another thing I'll say about the Shattered Space DLC. If you compare it to something like Phantom Liberty, which is the same price, it is a very, very stark difference. There is but then I think comparing most games, including Starfield, to something like Cyberpunk, it's a stark difference. I mean, Cyberpunk is just not that popular. It's bizarrely not popular on my channel. I think Cyberpunk 2.0 is just one of the greatest games. Really do. The Phantom Liberty DLC is just phenomenal. Hearts of Stone had so much emotional depth, it was unreal. It was, and it had Gauntro Dim! It had Gauntro Dim! Do you get the idea that I loved that character? On my third 2.0 game, still loving it. I cannot even tell you how many 2.0 playthroughs I've done in my spare time. I'm preparing to make a video where I rank all my favorite endings for Cyberpunk, and because I never recorded any of my endings for Cyberpunk, I had to do a bunch of playthroughs because I do not like doing multiple endings on one playthrough like some people do, like load up the save and just do something different. I've only ever done that for one of the endings. Of all of the endings that I recorded, for one of the endings, I loaded up another save and did it. And I'll tell everyone which one that is when I finally do that video. Because it was an ending I did not want to do. So is it better than Skyrim? What, Cyberpunk? Okay, look, you guys know I love Skyrim, and I will probably be playing Skyrim long after, Cyberpunk 2 is out or something, which may come out before Elder Scrolls 6. But just, looking at every metric as a game, both Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk are superior games. The thing is with Skyrim, I always think of Skyrim and a lot of the Bethesda games as not necessarily being the best games in their own right. But there's something about them that just lets me play and goof off or do different things that is somehow liberating. So it's a different experience, and Skyrim, it will always be my secret love, I guess. Or not just Skyrim, but those type of games will always be my secret little love where I just get to have fun. It's kind of like when you look at Minecraft. Those of you who love Minecraft, you might look at a bunch of games and go, nope, you know what? I can understand why people look at this game here, Witcher 3, and think of it as one of the greatest. And I can imagine on every technical level, it is better than Minecraft. But I'm like 12,500 hours into Minecraft, and I will not stop. Because there's something about it. It's got its claws into you, yeah? Anyway, I'm going to get over and start playing Baldur's Gate, guys. Thank you for letting me just rant on and ramble in random different directions this time. I do not know what I'm going to call this podcast, because it's just a mess. Yes, I will call it a mess of opinions. Yay, Leonard at the Bard's College. Oh yeah. Somebody's asking what's next after Phantom Liberty. Oh yeah, Skyrim. I've already got, I don't know, 2 or 3, 3 weeks of footage ready for that. I haven't gone back for a couple of months because I reviewed Bard's College. Reviewed First Impressions it. And I still have all the footage. I'm going to turn it into the initial episodes of a Let's Play, and then I'm going to finish Bard's College. Yes, I am. So that's coming next. Podcast, it might get messy, yeah. Gopher playing Minecraft sounds like perfect ASMR. I did actually do like 2 years worth of Minecraft. Was oddly relaxing. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you for joining me for this rambly podcast. I will see you guys in a couple of minutes if you want to watch me play Baldur's Gate 3. I totally understand if you don't want to see me fail anymore at that game. But I'll see you over there if you do.